Okay, this was a pretty interesting run on the weekly pack this time that involves using the polar bear and the lioness. You don't really see the polar bear used too much, I think, because most of the time it feels like it's not a very good unit, but the lioness, super good unit. If you can actually get it to work, if you can, especially in like viewer lobbies, if you have a lot of hearts and you're going super late game, you can get 50-50 shops similar to chicken, although it's usually a little bit slower than chicken, but it's still a really good unit and can get you a whole bunch of good stats. As for this start, I actually got this double bluebird otter start, and then took an early goldfish, which was kind of interesting, but it seemed like the right move. Got some pretty good attack as well. But yeah, so polar bear is a tier 5. It gives +3/+3 to a random frozen pet, which is kind of weird. Like, if they wanted to make it actually okay, I think they should at least make it so it's leftmost and it's not random. That way you can kind of scale it like with drums and stuff. But it's a tier 5, so it's very late to be taking something, freezing it, and then like trying to scale it in the shop. Most of the time, you just want that unit right away. Like, if it's a tier 6, you're probably just going to want it for like a good tempo option to win that turn, and instead you're going to be waiting like a couple turns and potentially losing. I don't know. It's a weird thing, but yeah. So lioness plus the polar bear means I'm getting like +5/+5 a turn, or even more if you have multiple polar bears and multiple lionesses. Lionesses, is that a word? I don't know. Anyway, early dog and goldfish, it just goes great together. Pretty much what happens is you get free units to buy sell if you have level 2 goldfish or 2 level 1s, because these units only cost 1 gold and then you sell them for 1 gold. So it's literally just free stats for the dog. And if you can free something like an otter or beaver, it's even more stats. So that's perfect. Um, yeah, so that is extremely efficient. There's not a ton of other things to buy sell in this pack. There's no like chinchilla, there's no pig, that kind of thing, but it's still usually pretty good scaling, especially like early dog for sure worth it. Turn 5 dog, if there's no shrimp in this pack, so that's a little bit sad, but if you can get like a level 2 goldfish, then I think dog is worth it on turn 5. Otherwise, I don't know. It depends on what the other options for scaling is. Going against a team with a hedgehog and pineapple in the back there is kind of nice. Just instant draws, and I love draws. You see, I'm at 0 wins on turn 6. A lot of people would be like, wow, this is terrible. I'm like, this is great. This means I have plenty of time to hopefully go late game. So yeah, selling the otter, it was pretty good stats because of the bluebird buffs, but I decided I want to keep Tamarin. I like Tamarin a lot. It just can go for some easy pivots, but it's not always amazing because sometimes you just don't get it to level 2. And then I kept this thing on the board for really no reason. It's like +1/+2 is so minimal, and it maybe cost me a loss there. Probably could have won the last round if I'd sold Otter, or hadn't sold Otter and sold Tamarin instead. But let's see. Early Hyena, not a very good tier 5. That's not what I want to see, but I got Crow for next turn, or I just sell it this turn and get another tier 5, and it's Scorpion, which isn't bad for this turn. But I guess I decided to take Hyena. That's a little surprising. I think if I want to win this turn, I should definitely just take Scorpion. But Hyena's more fun. You get to just swap everyone's stats. It does almost nothing for me, but I'm just kind of hoping it messes up the opponent's team. It doesn't. Just still lose. Not really the right play. That's okay. Like, I noticed, people obviously are going to be commenting on the decisions that I'm making in the game, and some of them are bad, obviously. Like, I'm not going to play perfect. No one is. Most of the time when people are playing, there's just not someone to point out all your mistakes, so you just don't realize that you're making mistakes, and that's kind of like ignorance is bliss type of deal. But when people actually watch your stuff, I guess it's nice. I mean, I definitely appreciate the fact that people actually bother to click and watch these videos, but sometimes it's just like, okay, I realize I made a mistake and I wish I hadn't done that, but that's okay. I mean, I guess it's good to know in the future to like learn from your experience. I guess that's kind of the ideal situation, is like, wow, I hope I don't do that again. In reality, I'm definitely going to do it again. It's like, okay, I can't think of a good example right now, but I'm sure like someone will let me know in the comments, right? Okay, anyway, going for level 3 goldfish, I guess, and then using the turkey to just pivot into something. I guess my plan here was to sell Tamarin to give +7, +6, and then get the +4, +6 buff from the turkey. But I don't know if it's worth it. It's pretty much using turkey as lobster. Lobster is obviously a tier 4 and not a tier 5, which makes it so much more useful because tier 5 I feel like is usually when you start unlocking units that are really good. So um, lobster is kind of just in time to actually be extremely useful. Go ahead and keep buy selling that. Get this Tamarin, which ends up getting the turkey buff as well. So it's really +2 +3, I guess, for 2 gold, which is actually just extremely good. And you can see right away, I'm just able to pivot into this rooster combo and get a 17-16 rooster out there. Hopefully find a pill. Immediately do, which is extremely nice. That was very lucky. And go ahead and free some other stuff for the next turn. And there's early Lioness, except it's not actually early because I can't buy it until turn 11, but it's nice at least to just guarantee that I do have Lioness. I wasn't really planning on going with the Lioness polar bear thing, but I decided, okay, well, if the game's going to give me the Lioness, we'll try it out. It's always fun to at least try to go for 50-50 shops. Most of the time, you just end up not having enough time. But, like, in this case, I'm at 3 wins. I got plenty of time. The only problem is I'm on lethal, so I'm just worried about losing. Anyway, the turkey, probably... No, okay. Gonna level up the goldfish to level 3. Get that lioness. And now I guess I'm looking for the polar bear. Steak. I'm on lethal. Probably should take that. Really, helpful. I could freeze like guinea pig. Guinea pig actually kind of works with dog. As long as you have that open shop slot, you're getting those 2 buffs for 1 gold. Very efficient. But most of the time I don't actually have an open spot on my team this late in the game. And that's a pretty big kangaroo. Still able to win. Got 6 more turns of this. Alright, there's polar bear, which means I can sell this turkey. I also get this crow for free, which means I actually get 1 gold back. Always love the level 3 goldfish. It's just a free 2 extra gold per turn as long as you have 1 spot available. There's level 2 lioness. Put a lemon on the dog. Probably the best thing in this pack. I'm pretty sure there's no melon in this pack, actually. So there's no turtle pill and there's no lemon on tier 6, which means lemon is just, like, it's super good. I mean, I don't think there's anything really better. You can put steak on everything, which kind of counteracts the lemon pretty nicely, but still, you know, not everyone's going to have steak on everything, and it is going to help out a lot against the summon teams, because this team actually, it's set up pretty well for summons with, I believe it has deer, whale, and turkey, and rooster, so all those are just good enough, and I think it might even have 1-ups as well, if I remember correctly, but I actually am just completely guessing. So, the thing that I decided to keep in the shop and keep buffing was the walrus. I didn't really know what to choose for this. I don't think leopard is in this pack, so that is a little bit sad. I don't think reindeer's in this pack. Those are probably the 2 best options, but, you know, why not have a massive walrus? It seems like a pretty nice unit to have. Just going to give free peanuts, and since there's no melon in this pack, I think it's even better. But yeah, so we're getting +6 +6 and then +4 +4. So we're getting +10 +10 a turn to this walrus, which is really nice. I just have to keep it frozen, you know, missing out on 1 shop slot, which isn't too big of a deal, but it's scaling pretty quick. 10-10 a turn means we'll get to 50-50 in just like 4 turns. So as long as I can survive until then, it will be good, and I continue to live. I mean, got a pretty good team with this dog and rooster and also these steaks. I think, yeah, it's not looking too bad. Since a lot of times people just don't end up going with a ton of scaling when there's not a ton of options. Like, your best options at this point in this pack, I guess ostrich. Ostrich is always a nice way to just get a 50-50 pretty quickly. Most people don't really go with lioness. I guess dog. Let's see what this team is. They have a giant triceratops. Monkey. Okay. I didn't realize that monkey was in this pack, but monkey is probably the best scaler then. I mean, monkey versus polar bear, it's a 1 stat difference for something that you don't have to freeze. You just immediately get to put in your team, which is much better for tempo. You're not going to lose, and also you're not going to waste the shop slot. So yeah, I mean, The difference between monkey and polar bear is actually, I didn't even think about it until now, but that just kind of shows how bad polar bear is, I think. It's like, it's viable if there's almost no other scaling, and getting early polar bear admittedly seems like it's okay. You get that turn 7 polar bear. Maybe you can get like a pretty good rooster going or something like that. Anyway, yeah, it's nice to have a 50-50 walrus on my team, and it's got lemon. I was thinking about putting one up on it, but it's not really very helpful. I mean, now that I put a snake in there, which is just a random 34-34 because of the polar bear and lioness buffs, I decided to go with the one up then because that guarantees just one more trigger. It's not really worth it, I don't think. But just in case, I guess like they have a skunk or something that snipes. I don't know what's in this pack, like leopard. Seems very unlikely that I would actually get one shot, or through lemon, I should say. But yeah, still a fairly strong team, just a whole bunch of high stats because of this lioness polar bear. And look at that, they had a level 3 skunk. What are the odds? And would you look at that? The peanut hit the same target twice. What are the odds of that? I don't know. 1 in 5 times 1 in 5. You can actually do the math. It's not that complicated. But there we go. There's 10 wins with a pretty interesting team, I think. Just showing off some different strats. Anyway, thanks for watching. See ya.